Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, we are never getting the Epstein files. That has been made abundantly clear. At every twist and turn, everything they say in the Justice Departments, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, everything they say just points to the fact that we're never really going to know what happens. They always come out and say, well, it's coming and it's going to be a bombshell, but also like we have to delay it and just take our word for it and stop asking questions and just shut up. And culminating in this week, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel have been going on a nationwide tour of just shut up and don't ask any questions. Please leave us alone. And they keep insisting, okay, Epstein killed himself. Because here's a clip of Kash Patel saying that exact thing.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria, you said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you he killed himself.
The other thing on the internet is the Epstein files. What's the answer to that?
The answer to that is the same as everything else. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever, but I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it. So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. And it takes time to go through years of investigations, years of political maneuvering, and years of cover-up to get the American people what they deserve. And that's what I'm going to give them on everything.
Yeah.
He's like, 100% he killed himself. It's like, all right, cool. Can we see the files? Well, I'm not going to rush it. I mean, these things take time and, just shut up, stop asking questions. We're never going to see them, basically. What's even worse, who's even worse prepared for the media is Dan Bongino, who on Fox said this.
Those two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't.
Right.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay. It was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release. That's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
It's like, I'm not telling you to take my word for it, but take my word for it. He killed himself. And it's like, okay, well, then can we actually see it? Can we see the files so we don't have to take your word for it? Well, no, we're just, these things take time and, it's complicated and, it's bad to rush these things. And it's just like, we're never seeing it. And then even when he says, well, there's video, which I never heard before. I don't think we had heard before that there was video. And then they ask, there's video of him killing himself? And then he's like, well, no, not video of him killing himself, but like there's video of him, being in the cell, he's alone. And then there's like a half hour, an hour where the video cuts out, but, just technical issues. And then he's alone again, but he's dead, clearly he killed himself. And so it's like, guys, come on. No one's buying this. No one's buying this. If there is nothing there, truly, there's nothing there. Release the file. There's no problems. He killed himself. All the evidence points to that. It's fine. If there is something there and they're hiding it, instead of coming out and saying we're hiding something, the best strategy would be we're delaying and it implicates these people and I don't know, we don't want to cause a fuss and it takes time and it's in this building and now it's in this building and we lost it. The previous FBI people they tried to get rid of it and we can't find it, but it's going to take time to find it again. And like every excuse they've ever come up with has led to nothing. And even their like bombshell reports, like this is stuff we already knew. They released files that were even more redacted than the leaked files we already had. So I'm pretty confident we're never actually going to know what happened, but this isn't good. This isn't building trust, especially in an administration that's supposed to value transparency. and they just come out and they expect that everyone is going to believe them when they say, oh, well, there's nothing there. Like, stop asking questions. I've seen it, don't take my word for it, but take my word for it. There's nothing in there. It's like, okay, guys, this isn't working. So they either got to release it or it's going to persist to be a thorn, I think, in Trump's side, the whole administration's side for the next 4 years. And I don't know how many excuses they can come up with. I don't know how long they can possibly delay this because they know there's something there. We know there's something there because it's like he was trafficking people. Who was he trafficking them to? Well, we still don't know. We don't have any answers. Apparently, that doesn't matter anymore. Somehow, like, we don't need the testimony of Ghislaine. We can't release any of that. Can't release the files. Can't release the logs. Can't release the client list. Just, I'm not even saying you have to release all of that if there's people who weren't like actually implicated on it. Like, I'm sure there's people on the flight logs who didn't partake in that sort of thing. But there definitely were people who did. So find the people who did and figure out, go by one and figure out, where does this lead? How big is this? Is this domestic? Is this international? What was this looking like? And for you to just sit here and say, well, there's no problem. There was nothing there. I mean, it was just a one-man show and then he killed himself. Please stop asking questions. It doesn't bode well for an administration that's based on allegedly transparency. So I hope Trump really puts their feet to the fire and rushes this. I don't think he actually wants to get it out either. We know he was working for Mossad. We know he had ties to many, many famous rich people. So the question is, how deep does this go and how destabilizing is it? If it came out that everybody implicated was like, actually part of this thing, how deep does that go? How many people does that involve? How many, what you would call important people, business leaders, politicians? What would happen if half of Congress got emptied out? Like those are real destabilizing possibilities, things that could happen if a lot of people are implicated. And I don't think Trump's somebody who really favors destabilizing any organization, especially the government, to that degree. That may just be, exaggerated thinking that maybe that many people were involved, but they could be, because right now we don't know. Because they just say that, oh, well, like just ignore it. We don't know who is involved. We don't really care. Stop asking questions. He's already dead, so why does it even matter? It's like, well, the victims are still alive. The people who were, associates of his are presumably still alive. So this does matter. And if they were people in government, that matters a lot. If there were people running huge corporations, that probably matters a lot. Even people in like Hollywood, I think that still matters. I think this is a problem that I have to imagine did not die out with one man, yet they're trying to make it seem like it did. And then they expect us, because they people were asking for these two specifically, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, to get into office. They expected that because people wanted them in those positions, that immediately, without showing any evidence, they had everybody's trust. And so what people wanted from them was, we expect Kash Patel to go in there, take the files, not edit them, and just release them. Just let us see what's going on, and don't take 4 years to do it. And instead, what's happened is they've gone in there and they said, well, you guys have trusted me to be in this position, so take my word for it. He killed himself. And nobody's buying it. Nobody believes that. I don't think anyone believes that. And no matter how many interviews they give saying that, until there's actual proof that that is true, people aren't going to believe it. They're going to believe what they have thought for the entire time since it's happened, which is that the camera went out. Both guards are asleep. Very suspicious. He was in the suicide type cell. Like, he was supposed to have a roommate. The roommate was moved out. Why? And then somehow in a suicide-proof cell, he was able to kill himself. So all of that lining up, all of that being incredibly suspicious, even if he did kill himself, why was he allowed to? Who allowed this to happen? Why'd the cameras go out? Why are the guards asleep? Why was the cellmate moved out? So even if he was allowed to kill himself, maybe even if that part is true, like he physically did it to himself, somebody allowed it to happen, and why did they allow it to happen? That's also a question, because maybe he was going to implicate people. Maybe he was going to release the list for a good prison deal or whatnot. So even the reality where that's true, the other circumstances around it still need to be explained, which they don't want to do. They don't want to go into detail about it for one reason or another. So it's incredibly suspicious. I think this is going to lose trust immensely with the administration. I think most people have already very much soured on Kash Patel and kind of his whole organization at this point, Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, and this kind of just like, oh, fanfare. We're totally gonna release it someday. It's totally coming. Just, shut up. I think they're losing face very heavily, and I think they're probably starting to panic about that because nobody trusts them. They're not. Nobody wants to take their word for it. In an era of immense skepticism, nobody wants to just blatantly trust what some politician says, what some official says. They want to see what really happened. They're sick of it. They're sick of being told to just shut up and look the other direction and just believe what you're told. They want to know what happened. They want to see the files themselves. They want to see this video, allegedly. But will we ever? Probably not. I don't think we ever will. Maybe under some other president 20 years in the future, probably not under Trump. So anyways, that's my thoughts on this. If you made it all the way through the video, I appreciate it. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Will we ever see these files, or are they just trying to delay it as much as possible? Let me know that, and thank you for watching.